Yeah, it doesn't look like there's been a massive change. It's just kind of small incremental evolution compared to EU4, in my opinion. Actually, what in EU4 was called Protestant, Reformed, and Anglican. So put that nipping that in the bud right now. There is not. These are the three Christian religions, the three Protestant religions. But the thing is, there is something called a national church, wherein for a Protestant, each Protestant country can add specific doctrines to their type of Protestantism. So you can have things like where essentially you can fine tune your Lutheranism or your Calvinism to become Baptist or Anabaptist, that sort of thing.
Apparently, you are muted. I'm able to hear ourselves, but I can't hear you on the stream.
Oh my god. I mean, I know why
It
it
hasn't
did
been that
that.
long.
I know why it did that, but still, goddamn.
Don't worry, Risak, I got you. I got you.
Oh, I can't see the chat yet, so let me just. I was trying to reload the page to get to see the chat, but instead I'll just leave and come back. Um, late and muted. Yeah, I see. So yeah, but what we were talking about, um, we were talking about the fact that I originally was happy to see it being specified Lutheranism, Calvinism, um, um, I was. There's nothing to see. I mean, you can come in, but you won't see anything. There's nothing to look at. Um, the reason that I was excited originally to see that there was Calvinism, Lutheranism is because I thought that would mean that there was going to be a lot more religions in the Protestant family that would pop up, but I guess that's not true, and that makes me sad, and I kind of wish they did not rename them in the end, because I liked it being more broad. I don't, but he's probably out with his girlfriend.
Read on, and it'll probably do a better job explaining than what my quick explanation was.
I am streaming now. Yes, I'm talking to people. Yes.
No, like, are you doing like a stream on your
Yeah, I am. Yes. Yes, I am. I'm talking. I'm talking about what's on this screen, and this screen is all the stuff that helps me show people this, and then my face over here. They can't see you right now from that angle. You're hidden.
Well, they don't need to see me.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You agree with the sentiment that it feels like EU4 plus, but not really that different? Yeah, I wouldn't. It doesn't sound like it's going to be all that different for the Protestants so far. Because EU5 for the Catholics is very different. But yeah, they can't make everything super in depth, and I'm not going to complain about that. But they're using this example here of the Reformation spawning in Perugia still. Was it Perugia last time? I think it was. Denmark. Is it Denmark converted? I guess it's showing just like the places where it's majority, minority stuff. My throat's been acting up today. I need to drink more water. But yes, the actual panel for religious influence. That's another thing that we've seen before, but I don't remember what it does. I don't know if they've explained that. The Tax efficiency goes up. Fine, I guess. Yeah. Fair enough. Clergy's more satisfied. Don't know how this all differs from Catholicism. I'm sure surely they've shown us just like the baseline modifiers that Catholicism gives.
I believe so. I just don't remember them.
But at this point in time, they're showing us a game with over 400,000 or over 400,000 Lutheran pops. Is this then showing religion? This is your society? This is I assume that this is showing your country, so it's like how much of it is Lutheran versus
Yeah, I believe
Catholic?
so. I believe so.
Well, that's neat that everyone gets a pie chart of sorts that shows your religious makeup. And that's some bad tolerance of heathens and heretics. Woo-wee, -7. Wow.
So it's not the heathen to live, I guess. Jesus.
Exactly. Jesus Christ will suffer not the heathen to live. Religious influence seems like universal religion mana currency. Yeah, they've definitely shown that for multiple religions so far, and I figured that that's the point. It's not a bad idea.
I believe in one of the dev comments they basically say that that's the case.
Okay. Oh, and then here's the religious aspects thing. Yeah, it's the same concept for from EU4, where you presumably then if it's the currency, you spend the currency to add a religious aspect and it gives you modifiers. Is there anything else? Because the religious actions, deport heretics. Whoa. Dissolve monasteries, so I don't know, get some cash for.
I do wonder if the flip side is so. Deporting heretics was something that happened a ton, particularly in the HRE with all the various princedoms, kind of dividing on religious lines. For example, or what I was trying to get to. So it was a historical. It's a historic thing in both Brandenburg and Sweden. I think it was that they took in large amounts of. I think it was like Calvinist refugees from various parts of Europe. Particularly ones that had skills that could be used to develop their economies. So I wonder if, in addition to deport heretics, there could be some sort of attract, deported heretics, or if the deport heretics will just result in that happening automatically. They'll be deported and automatically move to a state with a friendly religion or something like that.
I would definitely like if it caused if there was a cause effect thing of you deport the heretics and then someone else gets an event where like it will randomly target someone and then they get to decide if they want to accept them in, as opposed to it just being the pops get instantly yeeted into a different country where like multiple people get to choose, like, do they want them or not. Maybe eventually they'll just forcibly show up in someone. I don't know, but there's some interesting concepts you could do. You would think it simply triggers migration, because that's that. I can okay, Rasak, in that vein of logic, I do think that the most likely thing that it does is not triggering an event and then causing people to make choices. Most likely what it does is it gives you a negative migration attraction on that location specifically for people of that religion. Now, mind you, I would really like if that's the case. It's simple, but I also really like it because if there's a way that you can have something like this that targets people based on like specific religion or culture, then that means you can do more. That'll be much easier to script things like that in regards to modding. I mean, fantasy mod stuff, you conquer something. There's two races that don't like each other. You conquer one of them, kick them out. Simple as.
All the Pastafarians must go.
The Pastafarians, no. That's the spaghetti monster in the sky one, right?
Yeah, the flying spaghetti monster.
Good. Perhaps an event with the German settlers. That was yeah, Razak. That was why I brought up the concept of it creating a cause and effect. Someone gets an event, and they get to decide if they want them to show up. Because yeah, that specifically is the thing that came to mind. The fact that you will have German countries that will be like, people are leaving. Do we let them leave? And then, well, if you let them leave, then the person who's inviting them will get another event saying, they're coming! Do we let them in now? And if everyone says, yes, 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 then the Germans show up. But, yeah, religious influence. It's currency. You can add change aspects. Yeah, nothing too special here. Adult baptism. Pop conversion speed plus 20%. I mean, fair enough. Also, innovative progress. Okay. Peasants' estate satisfaction is funny. Okay. Asceticism for less crown power? Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. No. No, that's a bad. That's a bad. Expected cost of court going down by 2% is nowhere near enough to make that minus 10% crown power even remotely acceptable. The clergy power and then distance cost of capital sound. This seems pretty nice, though. I like this. The appointment of bishops. That sounds fun. Could be very good for efficiently running your country. But yeah. Bread and wine, food production.
Yeah, for food and wine output, I could see that being just great across the board if it gives a plus 10% food production. I mean, feed the people, my dude.
Mm-hmm. This is where you got a Waldensian. You got a Waldensian it up in southern France, assuming the Waldensians get the same mechanics. No, wait, Cathars. Waldensians are east. If you if you pop out Toulouse and then as Toulouse swap to Cathar, I could this would be the place for this because the extra food and wine output would have the greatest effect in a region like that. Yeah, distance cost of capital is like that is just free roads, but it's even better than free roads because it's on top of roads. If you build roads, it just makes it even more better. Rest. Depends on how food is balanced in EU5. It's fair, but even if you produce excess food, you can sell it. How goes the revolution? Oh, that's right. I threw my hat at my brother. Let me grab the hat back. Yeah. The revolution fares well. We are winning. We fell asleep in 1917. Yes, we are winning the glorious revolution. Hot fucking yeah. I am spreading the revolution to the world as we speak. Yes, discussing the glory of a peasant estate satisfaction. Yes. But the wine, yeah, the wine also sounds nice. Because wine is the upper that is the upper class drink, like alcoholic drink. I know that they've told us about no, what is it? Ah, the different types of alcohol are really confusing because they all have different purposes. Don't think wine is upper class. I think it varies from market to market. It's not so. I thought it was something that's like nobles want this. I don't know. I don't want to get too bogged down in this, but I think I remember there being like 3 different types of alcohol. One which is for more wealthy pops, one that's for poor pops, and then one that's for sailors. I have to love goods produce modifier. Oh, I wasn't even looking at the screen. What changed? I'm too busy reading chat. Yeah, poor Italians also desire wine, I'm sure, yes. but they're just so just more because they're just scrolling down the list. There's a lot of them. Okay, so this is the one you
I
want.
really like I really like Crown as head of faith and individual creeds.
This is good. This is a good one. Yeah. Crown power, monthly control, and progress towards centralization. Are you kidding me? That's crazy.
I get to wear the funny hat. Thank you very much.
What the hell? I don't know, man. I don't think that's gonna be easy to convince me to stay Catholic in EU5 with with this modifier on its own. It's just like, dude, I don't know. That's insane. Ooh. Well, freedom to preach, individualism, tolerance of heretics for just some less happy clergy. That could be useful for a time. Yeah, earlier on, this would be really useful for just.
Well, particularly if you're trying to do kind of a more multicultural, multi-faith sort of tolerant realm. Because I'm actually kind of really curious to see how viable that is.
Yeah, because conversion is automatic in this game. Cultures, you can have a
Yeah,
multicultural.
it essentially just happens over time.
Uh-huh. You can have a multicultural realm by because there's the systems for tolerate and accept, and tolerating is cheaper and it reduces penalties, but you'll still convert the people. But accepting is just they're fully integrated into the society; they do not get converted. Um, the but religion does not, as far as we know, have such a system. I would be an advocate almost for coming up with a system for tolerating and accepting religions. I don't know how you do that, but it sounds like a really cool concept to me. Because like, would it not be realistic to describe like most European regions as having like they consider Jews as tolerated, and the Muslims are not tolerated at all, and then the same with the heretics. I just can't think of many times that it's applicable to Europe where it would be like, oh, this religion is accepted, because that doesn't happen much. That's very rare that you have anyone that just fully accepts religions. So, but it's a fun concept, and the existence of the tolerance of heretics and heathens modifiers exist. So, like, regardless of if you add a system for accepting them, that there's still the concept at play. Incentive to reform Catholicism to have cooler stuff to compete with the Protestants. Well, if you reform Catholicism, it wouldn't give you access to these things. You're not going to suddenly get all these aspects of faith, like the crown as head of faith. But what are the other ones? So we don't get to see monasticism. Oh, we do. Oh God, there's so many. Okay, let's pick up the pace then, because I do want to get to talking about the religious orders. I'm really excited to see how they work. Individual creeds for assimilation speed.
Which is culture conversion, because we must spread our glorious culture to the ends of the earth.
I was not expecting that, but I am. I don't know. I'm pretty weird when it comes to. I like both vassal maxing and like religious and culture conversion maxing. I don't like. I'll flip flop on a given day, which I feel like playing. But it sounds like you could with Protestantism be pretty good at religion and cultural converting if you pick the right paths. Yeah, Hot Pocket, I'd agree that Imperator would be a lot better if the Civil War system wasn't constantly firing and that the Civil War wars were actually good. But it was a great foundation. I'll say that. I'll say Imperator's Civil War system was a great foundation for what they're doing in EU5. Because honestly, if that system was better, like if they had the Civil War system of Imperator that they have in EU5, I would still be playing Imperator all the time like I was for a while. All these are useful for interesting tools for pushing societal values. It is nice. There's a couple because we got two right here that are individualism pushing. So like tolerance of heretics, but then like isn't that interesting that you could combine freedom to preach with individual creeds for huge individualism boosts, and then you tolerate other religions a lot more, like other heretics, but you convert culture much faster. That's an interesting concept to me. Even though you normally, it's normally like you get a boost to cultural conversion if they follow your religion. I think. I don't know. Democracy, I don't know. I honestly don't know, Nathaniel, between whether I like when playing impaired or between the monarchies and democracies. They both have their ups and downs. It's tough. Yes, you could make you can pick these temporarily and then to push a modifier up and then change them out. We don't know how easy that's going to be, of course, but and once you push up a number, it will tick down, but you can definitely do it. Um, Moving along, you've got justified conflicts. Yeah, the antagonism impact down 10% sounds really nice too. War score, okay, this is really good as well. The war score cost is going to be really, really nice. All the blobbing enjoyers out there are going to really want this to yoink tons of land. Don't know what belligerent does. I don't think we've seen that one before. But that's curious. It shows two people fist bumping, which is kind of funny. Um, Monasticism gives literacy for clergy. Monasteries allowed, yes. Well, that's an interesting trigger. I wonder what that does. Parish registers. Possible clerics plus 10. That's a weird modifier. And then tax efficient. Does that mean that every location, just every single tile in your realm has an extra 10, like, desired clerics? I don't know. Pietism, literacy. No, max literacy and then progress towards innovative and communalism. Well, that's also curious. Some of these ones are more niche, for sure. But there were some really good ones earlier on. Free subjects, less likely for rebel factions, and the peasants are more satisfied for sola fide. I've heard that term before. I don't know what it means though. And sola scriptura. Oh god, there's still more. Literacy. More individualism. It's a couple different. There's two different literacy increasing ones. Huh. Yeah, justified conflict sounds incredible for if you swap to Protestant and you're trying to conquer more stuff because I mean everyone's going to be Catholic still by the time you flip, so you're definitely going to want that like lower antagonism growth. Yeah, max literacy. It's okay. It's the thing with the max literacy is that yes, that is for tech. We don't know we don't know enough about how these numbers function, if you know what I mean. Like theoretically, you could try tech maxing by going pietism and sola scriptura for this extra total 10% literacy, but we don't know how this plays out in reality. We don't know what other modifiers are affecting this or how good that is. It might be really nice, but it also might not even be possible to take this, for example. There might be something that's so you can't have both of these because they both do the same thing, and also the fact that pietism gives you communalism progress, and sola scriptura is individualism. So I'm pretty sure those are opposites. But hey, maybe it just cancels them each other out. Who knows? I'm willing to bet that 10% literacy will be excellent, but we don't know that. And who know? We also don't know how hard it could be. We feel like, who knows? Maybe you're playing some like Milan. You're playing Milan in Italy, and you get the technology for universities, and your people are like 90% literate for the rest of the game because you keep just shitting out universities, and it's like Victoria, where just have school. If have school, people read.
I'm of the opinion that I don't like I don't think max literacy for everyone in the country should be a very common modifier. I think things, especially like universities, should only affect like burger and noble literacy.
Yeah.
Because the peasants weren't literate.
They
really
wouldn't be
weren't.
going to the
Almost
university
all of
either.
these. Yeah, and they couldn't afford to go to the university. Literacy in this game should only vary, in my opinion. Like, bonuses to peasant literacy should be extremely rare.
And most, in that vein, it looks like that's usually the case. These are the only times that I can remember seeing just max literacy as a flat bonus. It's almost always been clergy max literacy, nobles. There may have been some burghers, but I mostly remember clergy. It's usually just the clergy is really fucking good at reading. Like, they all can read, which is like, I hope the clergy's good at reading, I'm gonna be honest. Isn't literacy a thing they said also increases unrest? They have talked about it very vaguely. Just that there is going to be that notion of having a literate populace makes them want things, but we don't know how. Because they've done that in multiple games before, it's just we don't know how it plays out in practice.
I mean, that's how consciousness works in Vic 2. You know, the more educated your populace is, the more aware they are of political issues, and the more likely they are to actually express their opinions on said political issues. So I assume there's kind of a correlation here with literacy rates. Because, you know, the power of the press really developed into a big thing that actually had a lot of political power as, you know, as this time period progressed compared to earlier on.
Having embraced the printing press institution should be a huge boost to lower class literacy, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, we'll finally be able to make the funny strips.
We know it makes slaves angry. Well, Rasak, then just don't teach them to read. Stop teaching them to read. God damn. Though pietism theory, like, these are max literacy. This is just the whole country, so this would be the slaves learning to read too. So I guess you probably don't want to have slaves if you're
doing maybe it's. I don't know if it affects the country or if it affects all the practitioners. No, it would have to affect the country. This doesn't make sense in any other context. Ignore me.
I don't know. I think it could be possible for it to target specifically people of your religion in your country. Maybe. Moving along. Soli Deo Gloria. Art. Okay. I'm sure that's like 10% is a large boost to these things. Artist monthly start chance. This sounds actually like it could be very useful. Again, we don't know enough about it, but that those are some pretty chunky boosts. I'm sure that there will be times where I will want to do that. Plutocracy increase is also neat. Translated Bibles. Oh. All estate satisfaction goes up 10%. Okay. Okay.
Well, you consider the fact that the Bible is the most printed book in all of human history.
That is too much, in my opinion. They give way too much literacy to Lutherans.
I don't know, because religion was such a deep cornerstone culturally and spiritually, and as a cornerstone of people's lives during this period. Them having access to the text and learning how to read the Bible, and having that be widely available, I could actually see that having a big impact on the literacy rate.
So the concept of translated Bibles is because I didn't comprehend this at first. That's the concept because they were all written in Latin. Yeah.
So this is something that gets repeated a lot. There were local translations of the Bible before the Protestant Reformation. We have, I think, English language Bibles going back to like the 10th century.
Okay.
But they were very rare. 99% of Bibles were in Latin because that was what the church did. That was what ecclesiastical. It was all done in Latin. So they were not common. So the notion of the Bible being translated into the common tongue and being made widely accessible for the lay person is something that comes in with the printing press and the Protestant Reformation.
Mm. I can see what they're going for then. It's just it's a really hard number to swallow because it's really large. It's just the thing. I can see the point that it's like, yeah, they're translating it to, you know, your local language more, and more people are having access to it, which I mean, as the Hot Pocket's saying, it's like that's how you teach the peasants to read. It's like here's the Lord's book, and yeah. And the church was afraid that translation.
See, see, the good book says you give me all the money. That's what it says right there. No, don't listen to the other translation. Mine's the right one.
So yeah, that's the thing, Rasak, is that yeah, it just feels like a crazy amount of different sources of global max literacy. And it feels really weird that this is tied
But
specifically to this religion.
the thing to remember is if you can only have 3 of these at a time. So
Did they specify 3?
yes, they specified 3. You can only have 3 active at a time. So, and there's a bunch of other pretty dang powerful bonuses. I mean, like this, what was it? Justified aggression was up higher up, and that gave you like just reduced your aggressive expansion impact functionally. And there was another one for the crown centralization and stuff. I mean, it'll depend on how much this literacy percentage actually comes into play, but I don't know. Yes, you could stack 3 different literacy things to get plus 20% max literacy, but that's essentially your entire religion's bonus blown on that. So, I don't know. I'm willing to give it a try at these numbers, but who knows? Maybe they are too much. Maybe they need to be tweaked. I imagine that'll shake out with playtesting. So.
That's a fair point. Also, again, we don't know if there might be restrictions on taking multiple of the literacy boosting ones at the same time.
Yeah, like Pietism and Sola Scriptura.
Those two specifically sound
plus 5%. They just did different societal values, so it's like I could very easily see, oh, if you've already got Sola Scriptura, you can't pick Pietism. That sort of deal.
I haven't had the time to just do one of my just unscripted rant videos, but that's definitely a topic I would consider doing one on just how Lutherans break literacy. Oh my god. Usury allowed, me being a banking nation, it wasn't.
There was a lot of shenanigans and chicanery going on in Catholic banking because, technically speaking, they were not allowed to charge interest. On a practical level, they were charging interest, but on a legal level, it was not interest because that was bad and forbidden by the good book.
This we again, another one of those things, we don't know enough, but we have been told that banking and being in debt and such is going to be way worse. We don't know enough about the brass tacks, just the specific details of how interest is how bad it's gonna be, but I definitely like seeing the minus 1% interest. It's not a crazy modifier, but it's something, and that might add up. The income from minting is fine, but the progress towards capital economy does sound like it could be quite interesting. The war sermons. More clerics. Don't know how like important it is going to have more. Maybe it'll be really nice to just have more clerics. Belligerence again. So that's 2 different things that can give you belligerence progress. So just because of your religion, you could have at least 0.2 per month. The estate loan's something crazy like 10%. No way was it 10% for even the estates. The estates are
No,
supposed to be the better
that
ones.
actually that actually sounds right. They intentionally made taking loans much more punishing, just like they were in real life.
Whoo! Because
Modern interest rates of being very low is a very modern thing.
the yeah, it does feel very strange to like the way I do not like, and it feels wrong that EU4 has such a culture around fucking debt restructuring. that does not make sense for the time period. Uh, but they did explain that the estates are the ones that are going to give you the best deals. They will give you the best loans, and yet if it's already 10%, yeah, I
Well,
might.
I think the way it works is banking nations give the best, then your estates, and then it depends on which of the estates in terms of what'll give you the best rates, because they want you to go to those international banking houses
Yeah.
to get your gold,
Okay.
and then make them all go bankrupt when you default on the loans.
You go bankrupt, and then the Medicis go bankrupt, and then everyone's angry. And then they hire the Golden Company to go kill you. But
I mean, this is literally why Bravos has, the frickin' the Iron Bank always gets its due, because if they didn't, then things would go badly for their economy.
So if it is that the banking nations offer better interest rates, that would be very interesting. And I know I would definitely try as a banking country to look at what the other banking countries are and then offer a lower interest rate to try and get more offers. Because I mean, if I'm the banking country, I don't care what the interest rate is as long as I'm getting something. As long as I'm the one who's getting the business instead of the estates or other ones. Kings would screw over the banks all the time. I'm sure they did. They
I can't
definitely
remember
are
who
going to
it
be
was.
able
I
to.
think it was like James II of England. I probably got that wrong, but he kept taking loans and then he defaulted on them, and he drove several Italian banking houses into bankruptcy
Wow.
as a result of it. Of course, the downside to that is if you're known for being a constant defaulter, nobody's going to want to lend to you anymore. So that is the risk. It's kind of like the borrow money from the Jews and then expel them in CK2. Well, they aren't going to want to lend you money again in the future, now are they?
Better than the estates for sure, but I bet banking nations will have worse consequences, like taking over your. Imagine if you default on a loan, and because you can't. Okay, because we know that you can declare war. I think it was. You have to declare war on a banking country to cancel your debt to them. I think that's what it fucking is. You can't just say no, you have to attack them. So I'm curious what happens if you go bankrupt when you have loans from a banking country. What the hell can they do to you? I want to know. And this is also making me more eager to continue this along so that we can get to talking about the holy orders, because I really want to know how they work. I'm so excited to try playing a landless country and also making my own, because as I've said, I want to make a Wizard Academy fucking thing as a type of landless country. Also, adventurers are a good candidate for it. The base number you can have is 3, but this is subject to review. Scriptable, moddable, good. Furthermore, religious aspects can have an impact on the country, on the relations a country has with others. So if you have similar aspects, you have a bias towards each other, I guess. Yeah, that's cool. I like that a lot. I'm definitely gonna. I bet it's gonna be a lot of fun to try modding in new ones for our own planned mod. I want to make all sorts of ones in due time.
I can already see one for like majorcratic clergy or something like that. So
Yeah,
it means only mages can be the clergy.
there's a specific religion that I definitely I have that specific thing in mind for. Yeah, that they there's a specific religion in the south of not Europe that has a mage clergy. So I'm curious ways to implement that in other places because I mean that religion would have it just like that's baked into them, but like other people maybe could get the option to take that as an aspect. So yeah, Calvinism is similar to Lutheranism. It spawns the Reformation. So you get their preachers. Calvinism gives you retreat delay. Everything's preordained, yes.
Thank God they kept it in.
They did.
It's not a meme.
Johann never memes.
That means that theoretically, especially with the +5. Oh wait, retreat delay +10.
Yeah.
Never mind. Holy shit.
They can't just cheese it either.
That means they are both the best and worst military religion in the game.
I love this
At the same time.
so much. This is such a stupid meme, but I love it. This is so good. We at Tinto do not do memes. This is so amazing. What the hell? Everything is preordained. Trigger. Yes. Oh no, we need to add that to someone as people who have a terrible retreat delay. Or I love retreat delay as a modifier in this everything is preordained too. That you just don't re-roll stuff. Oh wow. It's funny. You'll never play with this. It sounds like hell. Why not just cope? Roll good. Just roll
Yeah,
better.
so the flip side of this, if you roll a 10 on the dice at the start of the battle, you get the 10 for the entire battle.
Yeah.
So it's either glory or death, and
Yeah,
God
it's the
has
same thing
ordained it.
with rolling a 1 though. Yeah.
I like to roll the dice. Who retreats? Never. Never.
Whoever said that doesn't play with dice. We literally see the dice in game.
In a game about managing risk? No. Managing risk. Oh my god, I just realized that this religion is gonna be like the center of so many like save scummy strats. People are gonna be like, so okay, you can conquer the world in this much time if you reload every time you start a battle to make sure you get a 10. Oh, Schwingli! Yes, Schwingli. I cannot believe I didn't know about the glorious Schwingli until last week. Yeah, there's the two different religions in this one there. Me rolling a 0 against another player and hearing the entire lobby laughing at my face. Yes, specific amount of time plus 10, whatever that means, while you slam your face against the wall as your army just dies in what should have been an obvious victory. Because you're stuck with a permanent 0. Oh, it's gonna be so good for clips. It's so clippable. Okay, they have religious aspects too. Now, what if we scroll down here and they have the exact same religious aspects? Oh, they're not even talking about them.
I don't.
They do.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
think they're
think-
going
I
to
think
show
they
them.
do.
I mean, some of the things that they had up there were very Calvinist already. So
Yeah.
I think they do have the same ones.
Well, on the plus side, that does mean that the Cathars and Waldensians will probably Cathars, Waldensians, and Hussites will probably also have this on launch, just so that they have a mechanic, which is nice. All my homies with their
oh, did they mention that? I must have missed it, but that's good to know.
No, I'm just saying that they probably
No,
will.
I'm talking about Rasak's comments that they just made.
There's some that are
They-
religion specific.
There's some that are religion specific, and then lots of shared doctrines. So that's good.
That is excellent. I am a big fan of that. I like the fact that that if they're just they have a large pool of shared ones, and then some that you have specific options. We need a Calvinist one for predestination, specific one for them. I have no idea what it would do, but it's just like plus 50 retreat delay, but like a tons of morale. They already get discipline, which is really cool. It's gonna be something. It is gonna be such a religion for throwing hands. I think I personally, with my personality, I really fuck with Calvinism. In this. No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't talk to any Calvinists in real life, but this like gameplay wise, this here, everything preordained, the retreat delay, but then you do get the discipline. You do get some bonus. So if you roll well, you'll be doing really good. I love that. I will play that a lot. I am going to Switzerland max, and no one can stop me. I mean, Dark will stop me if I try to do it the first game because he'll be playing Milan, but you know.
Of course. Well, the only time I won't play Milan is if we do the glorious Tenochtitlan Cusco co-op.
Mm-hmm. To want into you. To want into you.
To want and sue you.
To want into you and not land. Nah.
I don't know what the Aztec called their country. All I know is the Inca called it to want and sue you. Because I was never a big Aztec fan.
Well, the Inca are just cooler. I don't know.
Objectively.
Yeah. Bishop Johann III Calvin and Anglicanism. This Protestant religion doesn't trigger through the situation, but as an event for England that may trigger when the Reformation is active. The unwillingness of heir current wife get named to deliver a male heir remains a cause of great concern for character, who has grown weary and instead has become infatuated with the tenacious Lady Anne Boleyn. In an attempt to secure her hand in marriage, she has dispatched an envoy to the Pope requesting dispensation to annul his current marriage, which was immediately refuted in accordance with canon law. The eager king is now considering more drastic steps to allow the marriage, including a complete break from papal authority. Take command of the church. Oh,
He's got to take control of the church.
Take command of the church. Many Catholic pops will convert to Anglicanism. Only 20% stability loss. Okay. Wow, those are some pretty cheap penalties for converting for just deciding I am the captain now because I want divorce. The lords lose some satisfaction. You lose a little bit of stability. A new heresy has appeared in Christianity. Clearly, these are people who do not understand that the only truth is the Catholic faith. Bum, bum, bum. It's crazy that the actual real life lore. Yeah, the real life lore. I love that YouTube channel. for Anglicanism is dude wanted to smash so that he could try making kids again with a different woman. Said no, fine, I'll do it myself. Bam. Wow. Already by at base, max literacy goes up. How do you feel about this, Dark? How do you feel about this?
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Woohoo! Plus 5% max literacy at base. Nice. For everyone. Currently has not yet been conceived of. It's interesting that you can search up the religion before it's been created. That's cool. And it will give you that has not been conceived of notification. Oh, jeez. Sneeze. Oh, boy,
And I
that's a
see
few.
that the religious actions are literally just the EU4 Anglican actions.
In addition to them having religious aspects. Yeah. Progress of the Supreme Governor encourage innovativeness. Yeah. They might need to come up with some new ones. We have a couple religions that share the religious aspects. Yeah, Lollards. Lollards are a religion. I just comprehended that when it said you like, oh, nice.
Lords.
Lollards and Hussitism, which will be created together with their corresponding reformer, and the earlier Catholic heresies of Bogomilism, Catholicism, and the Paulicians, and the Waldensians. I am a big fan. I completely forgot that they've got Bogomilists at Game Start as well.
So essentially,
Paulicians.
they've got all the major big historic heresies. They just aren't doing, Anabaptist and Baptist and all the other million inevitable Protestant splinters.
Which is fine, I guess. We better get Mormons later.
Yeah, that's... well, maybe not the Mormons, but I get why they don't want to do all the million little Protestant splinter groups. So
they did show us that they're going to make the there is a heresy for Orthodox in Novgorod though, so that's going to be neat. Really early they told us about those guys.
Yeah, I remember that. That'll be fun.
Make the Mormons a society of pops. Oh dear. But strife in the Holy Roman Empire. Yes. The princes of the HRE have torn themselves apart in the chaotic situation in the wake of the Reformation. Their descent into confessions, religious factions has weakened the empire as a whole and could open up the window of opportunity for us. Or drag us into a conflict of a scale far beyond our imagination. Lifetime at war! Or whatever they say, I don't remember. It's been a long time since I listened to Sabaton. I stopped liking them after I listened to Gustavus Adolphus to like the millionth time while playing Anbenar. It really took me out of it. Hate to say it, the HRE seems really fun this time. Good. More people are being brought over to the HRE enjoyer side. Yes. In the wars of religions, it's possible to align with the interests of the Catholic powers of the HRE or the opposing Protestant powers. Protestant Union. So there are two organizations that get created for the leagues. Protestant Union and Catholic League. Okay. Both sides. Wow. A mere 400,000 Lutheran pops. Really showing how the only reason actually I don't remember all the different sides. I think there were some Catholics that fought on the side of the Protestants, though I just don't remember I swear that was a thing, but I don't know. France? No way it was France. Really? Because that's what came to mind, but it just doesn't sound right. That's crazy.
They hated the Habsburgs more than they hated the Protestants.
Oh, it was Richelieu? What? Now that's irony.
They like massively oppressed all of the Protestants in France, but hated Spain.
And the Habsburg. Well, the Habsburgs are on both thrones at this point, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, the Habsburgs were Spain.
You know, at that point, I can't blame them for this choice. I think that's it's less schizophrenic and more like a desperation play at that point then. Oh God. Who even is Kyberg? One of these, the Catholic League starts with these two factions, and it's just, yep, Mansfield and Kyberg. Great, the great factions. In order to end the war of religions, either the Protestant Union or the Catholic League must lay claim to the hegemony of the HRE by enforcing the religious supremacy through the war. Yes. The Peace of Westphalia is achieved instead when 80% of all the participants desire peace. So that realistically, maybe there will be a button you press that says that you want peace, and the AL will be like lean towards it, or maybe it's just everyone's really like hurt. Like the war is going nowhere. An inconclusive result may lead to the negotiation of the Peace of Westphalia between the members of both leagues and will alter the religious laws of the HRE. And that's all for today. Next week, Johan will come back once again to show more of the most recent changes and tweaks in the game. Okay, more just feedback changes. Okay. Oh, well. Survive, I suppose. Yes. Yeah. It's explained a bit in the replies. Oh, the French Wars of Religion. Yeah, that would be pretty fun if there was content for the French Wars of Religion. What is it with French civil wars? They're unhinged, man. I don't. The French, the French know how to civil war like no other. Pavillon time. Well, I don't know. I don't know if we could look through the replies, but it's getting really hot in here. I need to take off my fucking turtleneck. This is tragic. Hello. Yeah, release date tomorrow. I mean, we could look through the replies, but I know a lot of people already have done. I really want to move on to catching up on the monasteries thing. So maybe we should just do that. About the predestination thing, Johan said that it would affect the D6 dice, means that there may be more than one dice type used. A D6? Damn, we're going full D&D with it, are we?
I mean, that was already how they did it. It was a 6-sided die. You could roll 1 through 6 in EU4 for the battles.
Is it a D6?
I'm pretty sure it's a D6.
Dark.
Was it a D6 or a D10?
I thought it was a D10.
For battles?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a D10.
Okay.
Oh,
Everyone's out here like, oh my gosh, I had a 9 roll. Well, it's a D9.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking of pips, general pips. That's 1 through 6, unless you have the national ideas that let you get a 7 occasionally.
Oh yeah, the 10 was a 0, not a 10. So yeah, it was a D10. Oh my gosh, I keep rolling zeros and he rolled a 9.
Yeah. Don't remember anything a major aside from the aspects that it affects relations. Yeah, they did say that all already. Yeah. I want to talk about the military orders. We gotta find out how these gooftastic things work. I wish I had time to talk about them on Friday, but it was not to be the case. Oh, what is up with my throat today? Oh. I might be coming down with something. Would be a shame. Yes, Tinto flavor, and we're talking about the Christian military orders, and specifically the Teutonic Order and the Knights Hospitaller. Yes, good. Both of my favorites, though I do like the Hospitaller most. Only the landed orders? Oh. Aww, you're right. And I was so excited. Thinking it was more general. Aww. I want to play the Knights of Calatrava and Galicia and be useless, though. One is barely landed. You take that back. Oh, screenshot of expulsion. Select religion to convert to Judaism, Waldensia. Oh, you can just... Can you clarify his conversion to any Protestant faith? You can do it regularly, clicking on the primary religion button. You can just convert to Waldensian. Huh.
Why can't I just convert to Judaism?
This is sad because it implies that, like, Judaism specifically, because it's a culture slash religion, it's probably just not something you can do. You can't just become a Jewish religion country unless you are also the pops. Like you might need to.
I suppose, yeah.
It might be it would be so difficult then to actually make a Jewish country just as an exclave someplace. You would need to I doubt there's any way that you can gather enough to make a county that is that religion and culture so that you could release it as a country. So my plans for Andorra are Jover. Maybe you could convert your culture to the whatever Jewish culture it is in the region, and then you could do it though. Maybe. Gonna be a game setting probably. Yeah, but then that's no fun. I don't want to change the setting to accomplish it. I want to be able to do it. I want to accomplish it normally through trickery. Because if there's a game setting that lets you just do it, then in that case you'll just be like, well, you'll just easily be like, well, I've got 5 Jews in my country, so it's president country, so I'll just click the button and then convert. Yes, add Basque paganism. God, they would never. That's been so long gone. Embrace the Reformation. The direct button on this just pointing to any Protestant confessions available in your country. Huh. There's an event about the Ruthenian Church. Curious. If you're able to form Great Britain and Scotland, you can get the religion. Yeah. Huh. John Knox. Why do I know that name? John Knox is a historical reformer. Why do I know that name?
Leader of the Scottish Reformation and the founder of the Church of Scotland.
Yeah. Nothing too confusing. Yeah. But let us get on with the orders. Yes. The oh goodness. Oh
Yes. Let us proceed.
The lore. Oh my goodness.
The Hour
The glorious order of brothers of the German House of St. Mary in Jerusalem, also known as the Teutonic Order, faces its destiny on the stormy coast of the Baltic Sea. Created to protect the Christian pilgrims on their way to the city of Jerusalem, its objective shifted to Christianize the pagan tribes of Prussia and the Baltic, through the creation of a state on those lands. Under the leadership of our predecessor, Hochmeister Werner von Orselen. That is the first dude, isn't it? The Teutonic Knights has expanded its territorial holdings, but this expansion has not come without consequences. The Order's aggressive politics have created powerful enemies, as the pagan tribes to the east have united and formed the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, then allying with our Catholic southern neighbor and rival, the Kingdom of Poland, which has set aside their Christian duty, joining with the pagans against us. The time has come for our order to prove that we are up to the crusading task that we have set ourselves, and to show the world that even surrounded by enemies, our faith stands triumphant. Yeah, the Teutonic Order is definitely not the underdog at this point in time. I'm pretty sure that this could go either way. The Knights Hospitaller conquered the island of Rhodes in the early 14th century, spurred by the fall of Acre in 1291, establishing a stronghold that would allow us to pursue our mission to protect the Christian pilgrims. Rhodos, a picturesque island in the Aegean Sea, has become a thriving center for our military order, marked by fortifications and a bustling economy. However, this prosperity is countered by relentless attacks by neighboring Muslim fleets, but we have demonstrated remarkable resilience, defending Rhodos through ferocious battles, showcasing our martial prowess and unwavering dedication. Nonetheless, the future of our order looks bleak as our enemies become more powerful and the disunity among the Catholic countries runs rampant. Recovering the Holy Land seems to be a fading hope with each passing day, but our determination is unbreakable, and we will pursue the objective until the last man falls. Play as the Teutons, convert to whatever that Lithuanian pagan faith is. No. I do actually want to play Lithuania though. I think that I would have much fun. Yes, champions of Perun grind set. Alright, so the Hochmeister Dietrich von Altenburg. He is 66, 33, 66. That's a fine character. I mean, he doesn't need to worry about Diplo as much at the beginning. I'm sure he needs to focus on just winning. He needs to win the fight, and I mean, all the stats are good for leading. He wouldn't have as much morale if he's commanding troops, but 66 is not bad for Marshall, and at least he'd have good supplies. Pagan Lithuania sounds very fun and different, probably hard on the ally front, because you're friends with Poland at the beginning. You really just need to win that first war, I'm sure. If you win that first war alongside Poland, I'm sure that you would have a much better time. After all, to your east, the Ruskies are still quite disunited and underneath the Tatar yoke, so you will have quite a bit of time to grow your power base and build an actual economy. While converting the Balts back to the ways of Perun. I assume they're still the Peru move of faith. For the Hospitaller, they do not have a Hochmeister, of course. Grandmaster Helion de Villeneuve. And he is significantly less good. Okay, he is ooh, that's gonna be tough. Okay. At least he's older, so you'll get a new Grandmaster soon, TM, as the Hospitaller, because he is not good. Ooh. The early game is the Hospitaller is going to be tough too. Because you need to start. Yeah, I assume that as the Hospitaller, your main goal, you're gonna have to like right away try conquering some of the Beyliks. You just gotta slam your face against the Beyliks while they're still united. He rules in Ulm. He's unstoppable. Does he? What? Does he have a commandery in Ulm or something? What do you? I don't know why you keep mentioning Ulm. Excited for some proper Ulm gameplay. Unique location miner. What?
It's
I don't understand what you're
the
saying.
it's unique location miner. It's one province miner, but in EU5 terms.
Yeah, and I don't understand why he keeps talking about Ulm. He keeps talking about Ulm, and it's really confusing. As if it's relevant
Understanding
to this.
Ulm,
I did. Because you're saying he rules in Ulm, so he's unstoppable, but I don't think he has anything to do with Ulm. He's a French holy order. Oh! Oh, he rules an okay, cause unique location miner. That's right. I completely forgot about how they made the yeah, a joke, but I guess it's not a joke because Paradox doesn't do jokes, that they call them unique location miners instead of one province miners, so that they're in Ulm. Yes. Uh Finally my confusion has at an end. That is a hunting accident and a half. Yeah, you definitely want a hunting accident the hell out of this, yeah, Helion, which is a weird name for a French dude. It's a great combination of, it's a Greek island, but he's got a French dynasty name. Helion. The Navy Order will be a lot more fun without a unified Ottoman neighbor at start, unless the pop limits them to hard. Yeah, I bet it's going to be very difficult, but you'll have room to cook is the point, because all the Beyliks will be squabbling amongst each other, so there's definitely going to be opportunities to make some gains in Anatolia at this point. Achievement idea: play as the Knights Hospitaller and then build hospitals in every Catholic holy site. I mean, that's kind of the point. The reason they're called the Knights Hospitaller is because that's how they started. That's literally what they did. So that's not very far-fetched as far as achievements go. Okay. Okay, he knows. AIM is smart. AIM, you make your Finnish brethren proud. Your intellect and education is truly remarkable. Teutonic Order starts in an interesting political and diplomatic situation. You got that right, Mr. Pavia. Live. Live, 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 live. Live. Okay, thanks. You're not supposed to just say okay, thanks when I give you shade. You're supposed to clap back. They're gonna elaborate on the situation, because God, they got so many subjects. It's crazy. That's insane, guys. Oh my god. Okay, because they start in war, already occupying some of their opponent's land. The Teutonic Order has several vassals. Yeah, quite a few, including the Livonian Order, but also starts at war with Poland and Lithuania. Something that is not final, since we're considering representing the Teutonic-Polish conflict with a truce instead, as it was resolved peacefully a few years after the start of our game. What? Oh. But games start war. I don't know. Well, I'm not the biggest there was a time when I knew a lot about the Teutonic Order's history, but I don't know enough about this specific conflict to be like, well, obviously, yeah, it shouldn't be done. It's just kind of sad to be like, oh, they might just not start at war because it's so cool. But I'm willing to bet that the Lithuanians would have a much easier game if they start at war. Because if you don't start at war as Lithuania with them, then I doubt it will be realistic for you to ally Poland because they probably won't like you. So this is like a one chance to like unite against the orders kind of thing. But if they don't start in a war, then the Teutons are going to be way stronger. The Teutons will be in a great situation if they don't start at war with those. Who'll make bets about every game start if they're not at war? Yeah. They start at war, but by 1337, Poland has already been no-diffed, and they're just negotiating how much the Teutons would get. I love the use of the term no-diffed. So that's like, because they've got land that's been occupied, yeah. So the point being that the Teutons just walked into Poland, slap. Oh dear. That's quite, it's a very big turnaround from how they eventually wind up. While the situation of the Knights Hospitaller is also interesting in a different way. So you said, who was it that said it's a Hot Pocket? Yeah, because Hot Pocket's talking about them being basically an Ulm. I need to remember that term because it is great. They're basically an Ulm, but is Rhodes really only one barony? That's so sad. I was hoping that Rhodes would be 2 tiles, but if it's only 1, then fine. They start with that's a crossing point. There is a straight connection between their second island and the Metness. Alright. They should just add an event a bit later into the game, which gives you an option to peace out or continue the war. Yeah, that makes sense. I would personally, yeah, I agree with you, Aim. I think that would make sense for it to be an event piece where if it's the AI, if it's just 2 AI factions playing, it would be weighted in favor of unless after a certain amount of time, like a year or whatever it was, because they make peace shortly after. So it's like if after a year has passed, the war score is at a certain point, then this peace deal event will fire. Yeah, that sort of thing could be neat to see. So there's like one last chance for the AI to pull something back as Poland. And then as a player, you can just say, fuck you. And you never know, the AI might just not accept the peace. Who knows? That's cool too. I like that sort of thing. And in fact, the more I think about that, I definitely want to try and implement something like that, because there's a couple people that are going to start in wars in my own planned mod. I mean, our planned mod, yes. Communism. Oh, Venice as an island. Oh, because it's Crete, yeah. A unique location miner with unique content spotted. All military orders share some common flavors, starting with a major government reform. Yes, our mod, comrade. Yes, comrade Star. No, Lenin. Comrade Lenin. Yes. Whoop. Clergy levy size plus 25%. Oh boy. And maybe target of military sponsorships. Yes. Blocked from conversion. Does that mean culture? What? You can't.
I think, yeah, it means you can't change your primary culture. So, like the Hospitaliers have Franciscan or Francian for their primary culture.
Oh, yes, you can't convert your culture. It's not saying blocked assimilation. I was really confused. Like, what? You can't assimilate people? Huh? What? That is like the exact opposite of what happened. Like the reason that Prussia became so German is because they did exactly that aggressively. And yes, obviously you need to culturally convert everyone in Rhodes to become Frank. Joffrey could do a god tier Lenin cosplay. My entire life is a Lenin cosplay. That's why I live the Lenin cosplay, my dude. I've got the facial hair, the lack of top side hair, and I've got the sense of fashion when it comes to hats. It just works. You read that as religion only. Religion only. Religion only. Where did you read that? I don't know. The clergy levy size, big. Big clergy levy size. I'm sure clergy allowed to lead. What does that mean? The clergy can have armies, is the point? I guess. Maybe targeted military sponsorships. We don't know specifics of that, but they've mentioned that concept before.
They show it later.
Okay, good. I would hope so. Monthly progress towards belligerent and offensive. Oh, not defensive. I mean, that makes sense, but military orders are famous for building castles, so. Its members are both warriors, miles, and monks, fratres, who take religious vows and are destined to defend and expand Christianity. They also came to bite them in the ass later, too. They were so efficient at converting people that when they ran out of pagans to convert, the HRE gave them a thumbs up and left them to fight Poland alone. That is one of my favorite things. Like, people just don't understand. Like, the reason that Riga and then eventually the Teutons got in EU4 the content where they can get added to the HRE is because they were in the HRE. They were founded as a part of the HRE and were expanding for the purpose of expanding the HRE, and it really pissed off the Pomeranians. The Pomeranians were really angry about it because they wanted the land for themselves, and they got into wars over it too with the Pomeranians. But the point is they were considered part of the HRE, but they aren't in here. In here, they are not considered part of the HRE, and in fact, the castle that the Teutons own, we've seen on maps of the HRE that the castle that the Teutons own, tile-wise, the location that they own in like Swabia, is considered not part of it as well. Just how it sounds to me, the orders are tied to religion, but not really culture in my mind. So Rasak, you're saying that you think that conversion, block from conversion, that is in fact saying that you don't convert the culture. I'm saying that can't be the case because they did a lot of that. So, because that was like the entire thing that the Teutons did, yeah. Riga was part of the HRE for like 20 years. The Teutons were like they were considered part of the HRE, and everyone else being underneath the Teutons means that they are still technically subjects of the HRE as well. So the Livonian Brothers of the Sword are also part of the HRE by extension. Order headquarters. It just hires priests. Okay, yeah, it really is just cleric maxing. Yeah. Fair enough. I'm very curious what like the power of like an order country will be. It's probably just insane the amount of power that the clergy has specifically. Yeah, monthly manpower goes up. Fort defense can recruit regiments here. Does it give a fort level? No, it does not give a fort level, but it does help with that a lot. Well, the fort defense plus 10% probably isn't crazy for that. Honestly, a little surprising. Oh, order stronghold. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And it does require some pretty pricey stuff to upkeep. No gold to upkeep, though, actually. Wait, yeah. It costs gold and fine cloth to make, but only fine cloth to upkeep in regards to the precious stuff. You still need your glass, of course. Beeswax. Everything needs candles, yeah. Okay. Can recruit regiments here. Good, good. The residence of the Grand Master serves as the base of Order's operation and is its political center. Oh, this is the Capitol building. I didn't read that. That's very important. These modifiers seem kind of low for a Capitol building, if I'm being honest. I mean, the monthly manpower of 20 is pretty decent, so yeah. But Order strongholds. Ooh, boy! Oh, this also isn't a fort level either. Oh, weird. Much cheaper building, all things considered. Yeah. Paper, weaponry, and stone. And this gives clergy power up, 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 up. The clergy in that location becomes strong, and a lot of extra fort defense. An order commandery. This is the other thing. Fortified base military orders. Nothing that's giving fort levels yet, because I guess that's going to be rare, the types of unique fortifications that give extra levels to forts. Order commanderies, though. This is this is a big one. I think we've seen some of how this works before, but this looks a little different from what I remember. Manpower to owner +2. There's a yes/no thing.
My apologies, I'm being called away by my dad, so I am going to have to dip now.
Alright, catch you later, Victor. Thanks for hanging out.
Best of luck looking at the military orders. There's not too much left, I don't think, so. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye-bye. But I assume it's going to say underneath here that the order commander is a foreign building that you can build in lands of any Catholic country with you have good relations, making it a powerful tool to support your crusading effort. So that's where the yes/no thing is, the up and down thumb for implying that this is a thing that requires opinions. Is there something that implies whether it's a building that's in a foreign country or not? Doesn't look like there's any icon that implies that. I do like the manpower to owner and gold to owner things, though, because yeah, there's a difference between like modifiers it gives to the tile itself and then to the person who owns it. It is interesting that this does not have any effect on the person who owns the tile. There's nothing that this does nothing to the tile itself. All it does is give a little bits of cash to the owner of the commandery. And it gives you some more clerics. It makes demands in the market, but that's not really local. Well, yeah, that's a question, honestly. Like, because I assume you need to pay these. This is your building, so you are paying for the access to these resources in that market, which is very curious. I assume that's what that means. Privilege for the clergy. Military orders. Gives you some discipline. Also allows clergy to lead. It's weird that it's mentioned double. Has military order government reform +5. Does that mean that if you have the military order government reform, it has extra effects? Oh.
I think so, yeah. These guys get lots of army buffs.
Yes. Yes, they do. They say convert a small amount of local pops to the Teutons culture. So they did. Wait, they didn't say that here, did they? No. Yeah. So yeah, they've mentioned that before, and it keeps just boggling my mind every time that I see that, because every time that every time you make a building in someone else's country, it converts some of the local pops to your culture, and like it just assimilates some of them to your culture, and then makes them employ there, which is just really funny to me to think about. So if you're a person who has a ton of different countries building stuff in your lands, you'll get a ton of these these minuscule amounts of different cultures. Gives sponsorship of military orders to any country. Army morale plus 10%. Receive sponsorship of military order from any country. Army maintenance goes down. So if you are a country, the Catholic countries can give military orders to your clergy. Catholic countries can give military orders to their clergy, and if you do that, it gives you some discipline and clergy allowed to lead. If you have military orders and you are an order, it gives you even more discipline.
Yes.
Also, if you are an order and you are receiving support, then it gives you army maintenance down. And if you have this and are supporting someone else, it makes your army morale higher, because I guess the military orders in your own country get a boost to their morale when they see you're supporting others. That sounds right.
It's about.
Think for building-based nations, it might steal population, but for landed nations, you send your own pops. I wouldn't know, but with the size of these pop numbers, I doubt it's very important, really. Like these aren't especially large numbers of people. Unlocks a unique diplomatic action with other Catholic countries. The sponsorship of military order. Teutons pay country gold, and then the Teutons spread embraced institutions to the Stockholm. Okay. Country gains it. Yeah. So if you are sponsoring an order, you get you get religious influence and prestige, fair enough. And if you are sponsored, you get the army tradition. As being theocracies, military orders also have access to unique laws and policies such as divine cause law. Big fort defense. The communalism, yeah, that's whatever. But the fort defense, 20%. Stack all the fort defense. Holy mission for cheaper forts. This is where I say, like, being a holy order gives you boost to your offensive, but like they're more known for the defensive like works that they build. And then here we go. There's more stuff that gives defensive bonuses. Even the defensive progress that will cancel out your offensive bonus. Monastic order. Huh? Policy. Theocratic leadership law. You can have both of these? Monastic order, the order's hierarchy and rules. Theocratic leadership law. Huh. Wow. You can have cheapo fortifications. Yikes. It's funny how they get fort defense, but being an order gives offense. Yeah, fort maxing under EU5 mechanics of terrain and supply sounds like it would be fun. Yeah, I think so too. I think that if you focus up on getting fort defense and these fortification maintenance going down as well, you'll get some excellent defensibility as the various knightly factions. I think it'll be pretty tricky with the fact that initially as the Hospitaller you need to expand. You got to focus on expanding first. But once you get onto mainland Anatolia, your focus on defense is going to be really helpful for holding that land and making, because people are going to need to bleed to try and siege your stuff, and then bleed them dry on your walls that are cheaper, and then take them down. Shame not any mountains in Prussia, though. Yeah, no mountain fortresses that people can't cross in the winter. There are definitely mountains in Anatolia, though a lot of it's plateaus as well. My nose is itchy. I feel sick. What is up with me? I'm dying, guys. All this stress lately is getting to me, I guess. Marriage, loss, celibacy. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. The knights have access to a couple more reforms and privileges. Crusade in the sea. Galley build, repair, and maintenance cost down 50%.
Yeah,
Huh?
They flood galleys.
Insane. Yeah, that is ludicrous amounts of galleys. As our focus changed from defending castles in the Holy Land to fighting pirates and heathens in the sea, we had to change the way our order operates. Galleys will be our battlefields and our first bulwarks against the enemies of Christ. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Army disembark speed going up too. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I need this in my life. Disembark speeds, they're gonna land, loot your shit, and leave. Yeah, yeah. It's good for everything. That is so good for everything. Rapid response too. You can just like the ability to just zip around the place. You'll never know where they're gonna attack you from. Aha. Yeah, you're so sorry for me because yeah, I it's true, Hot Pocket. Yeah. The Bloc Québécois did not win any federal seats in Alberta in the election, and I am devastated. After all, Alberta is famed. Albertans are famed for having a deep love and reverence for Quebecers. Yes. Gosh, that is such a meme party. They never run any seats outside of their province, if you didn't know. It's weird stuff. There's so many sea tiles you would have no vision on the entire Greek islands. Yeah, because they're all narrows. They're all narrows tiles, so they'll have these galleys fighting in narrows where they'll be ludicrously strong. You can't see them, and they'll just dip out of there with their huge cheap navy, and then disembark on you while you never see them coming. Imagine getting that somewhere like Singapore. You got a crusade. You got a crusade in the Straits of Malacca. Yeah, on we go. I'll do it. Like I gotta bring. You gotta Age of Empires 3 max and go bring your galleys to the Caribbean. Still, me as a kid playing Age of Empires 3, I thought that it was the most epic line ever when the most epic thing ever when the Ottomans and the Hospitallers teamed up and the Ottoman dude's like, "What do you think? I am Ottoman. I have infinite gunpowder." He basically says it. It's so stupid. I love it. Are we really gonna have gun with a PDX at release? What? Huh? A lot more fun than just stacking heavies. We don't know how good galleys are in... Oh, wait. Yes, we do. They talked about navies. They talked about the fact that they were originally going to make every single boat have the same combat width, and then I was smashing my face against the wall, and then they changed it to be like, galleys have a ludicrously small combat width. You can have so many galleys that fit in like actual battle compared to the heavy ships. So you can have like 4 galleys attacking each individual heavy for like the number of ships comparison. Battle of Salamis was the thing. Galleys are just more modern triremes. It's true. That's all they are. Yeah. The frontage changes and all the bonuses should make them good for specific areas, like they should be. Indeed. I believe that in places that are more cramped, if you get places that are more cramped and they get the bonuses, like narrows are going to probably be insane for galleys because they're both going to I assume they'll get the bonus. Like, oh, bonus to fighting in narrows, which they should. They should get like inland sea bonus and then also in narrows, just another insane boost. then the combat width will be smaller, so there'll be less frontage to work with in general, and then with less frontage to work with in general, you'll just also have like making the maximum use of it with your number of ships. Inland seas with straits and shit. Yep. They're not going to have one thing that I'm wanting to experiment with when it comes to EU5 modding is the fact that they aren't going to have any navigable rivers in EU5, but I'm wanting to try and make some. And I'm gonna have to see when I get my hands on the code, because there's two different types of sea tiles that Dark and I have talked about making, where one of which is it's just river. So worse narrows. It's narrows, but even more just horrible because it's a big river. And then the other one is ice flows, so worse narrows again. But it's worse because of more attrition. One is worse. The big river is worse because there's just no frontage and you move slow, in one direction. If we can implement that with trade winds. And then the ice flows would be terrible because you'll just take infinite damage first being in there. The region with the hospitalers live in basically means they'll be the biggest biggest little shits in the area. Yeah, you just don't want to piss them off. If you dare attack someone that they've allied, they'll show up with their huge army of galleys and fuck you up. Because they'll just drop their army on you out of nowhere. They'll show up on your coast with this unstoppable army of galleys, just drop their troops off. And it's not going to be an army that's like enough to kill you, but it'll be a pain, and then they'll come back later when you're not expecting it. River tiles should just make it impossible for heavies. That would be the point. I would want to do that, yeah. What about the underground sea? Wasn't that a thing? The underground sea is going to be a thing. I just haven't thought about the fact that it should probably have its own type of naval tile. Yeah. It realistically would need one because of the fact that it doesn't have wind. I mean, it might have wind. I don't know. Well, one big thing I want to do is make all the different, I always say this over and over, the one thing I really want to do is make the different parts of the underground world in this mod that we're going to make very different from each other. So the concept of, I don't know, maybe the underground sea does have wind. Where does it come from? I don't fucking know. Well, we'll come up with something. You come up with the thing you want, and then you explain why it happens in a neat way. Just come up with, figure out an interesting way that explains it afterwards. You ask for forgiveness later, kind of thing. I want underground ocean. Explain why it's there later. Fucking rake religion. Dude, I hope every time you bring up the rake that you're not saying that in reference to Canada, dude. I swear. I hope you're not trying to reference the fucking rake. I do gotta move along, though. We gotta finish this eventually.
Yeah.
Yes. But to move, one last thing about the underground sea thing. Yeah, there will be a way to connect it to the outside world later. We'll make that a thing that happens. You can connect it. In reference to the leaf tool. Yes. Good. He doesn't know what I mean. Good. Of course, someone should. Yes, I'm sure someone can have a rake religion. Yes, I've been too busy to do much world building lately. But autonomous local commanders, monthly army tradition, decentralization. Yeah, that makes sense. It's good. I like the extra army tradition. Oh goodness, yeah. With what time it is? Okay, well, once we. Yeah, there's going to be quite a bit to skim through yet. That's going to be a pain. After this dark, I'm gonna go and I gotta shave because there's just a tiny bit of hair on my head now. It's too much, so I gotta go shave.
Yeah, that is way too much hair.
It's unacceptable. And we can watch some show afterwards because really good show. I love show.
Good. We will watch show.
We should do that. And then yes. Okay. Kulmlaw Tax for burgers. Well, that doesn't sound useful. Teutonstar with another... Oh, okay. It's like, it's not a good one, I guess. I mean, it makes the burgers a little more happy, so I don't know. Magdeburg law, Culm law, privilege. Yeah. Start with unique work of art. Yeah. Teutonic advances, even more discipline. This is just these guys are gonna be stupid, man. What the hell? Grand Order was forged in the flames, the blood of the Third Crusade during the Siege of Acre, when he originally nursed the sick and feeble. The Order is transformed into a militarized group of knights of unbreakable devotion and discipline. Teutonic heavy cavalry, yeah, heavy cavalry maintenance and power. Reformed Order army in the Age of Renaissance. For non-culture levy size goes up. That's good. I like the icon for it too. Colonialism. Teutonic religious authority. Conversion speed and religious influence. Those are also good. One state, one religion. Fine to cap it off with tolerance of the true faith. +1 tolerance of the true faith. You know, I genuinely wish, Hot Pocket, that I was just bald. Like, I couldn't grow hair on the top of my head. It would make it so much more convenient. I wouldn't have to shave. I don't grow much, so I don't need to shave it that often, but still, it's inconvenient. Assistance to the suffering. Is this the Hospitaller? The Hospitaller get based ones, yes. Discipline, beating the shit out of people, one state, one religion. No. Assistance to the suffering. Reinforced cost goes down. Get them back in the fight. Yes.
I mean, next one. I mean, the knights. They didn't need better galleys, did they? No, they did. They needed better galleys.
I think they needed more. I think they needed more galley cuts.
Scourge of the Corsairs. They honestly, they needed better boats.
Naval damage done.
They definitely needed some better boats.
Oh, I love it so much, Dark. What the hell? And the ship capture chance too. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. That's the colonialism one, yeah. Never-ending crusade. Oh, they get some discipline too then. Okay, fine. I won't complain. And in revolutions, they get manpower 10% and recruitment speed 20%. While some nations are often described as an army with a state, we, on the other hand, have always been an order with a nation, dating back to our acquisition of Rhodes from the Romans. Nevertheless, we cannot help but admire how efficiently they have harnessed their resources to become a formidable nation. Inspired by their success, we will implement reforms to ensure that our military can confront any adversary with confidence. The yoink Roman stuff. I don't know if that's a great idea, but fair enough. But an order with a state is a pretty base name for an advance. I appreciate it. Yeah, the flat navy damage is crazy as far as modifiers go. I love this. Galley power 20%, and then just naval damage done. just extra damage done. Their boats just hurt more, dude. Take the baldness and move it to the face. No beard. No, oh God. I would not mind if I had alopecia. I would be fine. I would be fine with having alopecia. But I do like my old goatee, so, and my unibrow, so. St. George's Night Uprising. Estonia. The native Estonian population, displeased with the fact we showed them the light of Christ all these decades ago, have risen up in an armed insurgency. Oh no. It's a big old Estonian revolt. I guess there's a lot of pagans in Estonia still. That's neat. Acre fell. So we remain crusaders at heart. Look inwards. We must develop our stronghold. We must not disturb the status quo. Why aren't they showing us what it does? God damn, we got to look through. The last thing we'll have to do. I've got to skim through and see what these, if they posted what these do. Next Friday's a bank holiday, so no Tinto flavor. Monday, a look at the Tinto feedbacks for Eastern, Central, and South Africa. Okay, fine. And yes, Wednesday there'll be the talk about Protestantism, the war of religion. Whoa! I'm so excited for that. I wonder when that's coming out.
Woohoo!
Goodness. Hmm. What? Is there any content for the Crusade for Smyrna? Good, good, good. Yes, they need their foothold. I think that's what it was, because the Smyrna is like that's a castle they got on the western coast of Anatolia, I think. Widespread Turkish piracy with the Beyliks of the Aydunids at its helm has caused much dismay to the Christian shipping. Such a state of matters cannot stand. Christendom will not be humiliated by the lowly Sunni pirates. To curb this misery, we must call a crusade on the Aydunids to end their treachery once for all. No one shall stand. No one shall threaten Christian shipping. Oh, the misery! The greatest crusade. Teutons cannot convert, but then how do you handle the transition to Prussia by event? Historical option if you're losing. Oh. Force them to down. The defeat to the Teutonic Order has marked the return of much of Pomerania back to our fold, but also the conquest of territories in Prussia through decimation. The Teutonic Knights still stand and control many institutions in the area. Well, territories, the Teutons could be divided among Royal Prussia. Yeah, so that's how Ducal Prussia becomes a thing. Damn, it all becomes Whoa, if you beat them in the first war, you can turn them into Prussia instantly. Whoa. Kingdom of Prussia. Yikes. The alt history way if you're winning. Yeah, makes sense. You need to stop being Holy Order. Brandenburg also has content to become Prussia. We'll talk about that in the future one. Why is Livonia not called the Livonian Order? It's Order of Livonia. It's all wrong. It's all wrong though. They're supposed to be the Order of the Livonian Brothers of the Sword. No. They don't have the full name. Pink Prussia is cursed, yes. Just request military sponsorship. Negrapont. Okay. Check if there's any other pictures in here. Here's the Prussian culture in the screenshot. The Germanic one, yeah, because the Ruthenian is the native Prussian culture. All right. Oh, you can purchase Estonia, yeah, from Denmark, from the revolt. That's neat. Yeah, it's annoying. You're not gonna be able to fit the full name on the map all the time. Alright, but with that, I really should go, because it is getting later, and I've got a few things I need to do before the day is done. So...
Shave.
Okay. My throat's all weird. Alright. So, with that, we'll wrap this up. Oh, this is the typical, 2-hour length. It always ends up being somehow. Weird shit, man. Weird shit. So, yeah. Always enjoy a good Tito. Oh no, not a Tito, Yap. Oh no. Alright, well, I'm glad to hear it. Hopefully I will have time once again to start doing some more of my unscripted rants about stuff, because I would like to, but such is the way of things. But, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye! Bye-bye-bye-bye! Bye-bye!